Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tonight, a pair of Tigers will be looking to extend a couple lengthy hitting streaks. Shortstop Jose Iglesias and right fielder J.D. Martinez. Well, they both hit in 9 consecutive games. They'll hope to make it 10 in a row in the ball game tonight as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Downtown Detroit, it's a cool evening for baseball. Game 2 in the series featuring the Brewers and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pepper, Ron Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. And a couple of guys, Rod, that are kind of helping to carry the Tigers offense these days, Iglesias and Martinez.
Well, Iglesias, he's been balling. That much is for certain. Not only on the defensive end, but he's leading the American League in hitting. And if you're J.D. Martinez, really don't change a thing. You've been awesome since going 0 for 25 when you were doing a lot of swinging and missing. But his role has increased. He's now going to be batting behind Miguel Cabrera. So don't press, don't change a thing. Continue to do what you've been doing.
All right, now the Tigers, of course, made some big news today and the announcement. Victor Martinez has gone on the disabled list. Tyler Collins comes up. This is something that obviously the Tigers had to do.
Well, obviously, Tyler Collins is going to get some reps at the DH position against right-handers mostly. He's done pretty nice work against right-handers when he's gotten an opportunity. If you're Victor Martinez, after watching him in last night's game, you knew something was going to happen. You knew they probably were going to put him on the disabled list. He hit into a double play. This was his final at-bat, and once he touched the bag with that left foot, he gimped down the line, and you can visibly see that he just wasn't right. He had to walk back to the Tigers' dugout, and I had a feeling that they were going to make a move after the game, which they did. Victor Martinez will get the rest that he desperately needs.
All right, Game 2 of the series coming up tonight. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Trevor Thompson. Coming up tonight, well, he's finding his stride. Good start for Sanchez his last time out. Tigers Brew Crew coming up next. For Detroit, and he is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Anibal Sanchez was outstanding in his last outing against the Minnesota Twins. As a matter of fact, in 3 starts this year against the Twins, Anibal's been very good.
So Sanchez will look to get the Tigers back in the win column after losing the final game in St. Louis, losing last night. Tigers have lost 2 in a row. And the first pitch of tonight's ball game is swung on and missed 0-1. And Carlos Gomez. It'll be Gomez, Parra, and Braun here in the very first inning. Gomez batting .267. And he looks at a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cool evening at the ballpark tonight. Temperature at game time 53 degrees. Much, much cooler than the weather we had here in last night's ball game. When Gomez led off the game with a home run against Kyle Lobstein, one of a couple of home runs the Brewers hit last night.
It was 30 degrees warmer at this same time in last night's game.
Really tell a difference at the ballpark. A jacketed crowd tonight. There's a strike in the outer edge. 2-2 on Gomez.
That's what Sanchez can do when he's going well. That 4-seam fastball at about 93. He can spot it on the black on the outside corner right to the glove of Brian Holiday.
And Gomez takes strike 3 in the outer edge. Caught looking.
It's one of the reasons why Anibal is so successful. He can throw that fastball wherever he wants to, whenever he wants to, for a strike.
The rest of the lineup for Milwaukee brought to you by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Gomez. Parra's in the lineup tonight. Good numbers career against Sanchez. Ryan Braun will follow him. Lind, Ramirez, and Davis in the middle of their lineup. Sardinas, Gomez, and Maldonado rounding it out for Craig Counsell's Milwaukee Brewers. Gerardo Parra did not play last night. He's in there this evening. And he's swung a pretty good bat of late in his last 20 games. He's at .423.
He also does very nice work against Anibal Sanchez. He is 8 for 14 against Sanchez, batting .571 against Anibal in his career.
A couple of doubles as well. 1-0 is low. 2 balls, no strikes.
So when Parra looked at the schedule and he knew that Sanchez was pitching here tonight, he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt he would be in the lineup.
And there he is in the 2 slot. A couple of homers this year. 14 driven in for Parra. 2-0 is high. 3 balls, no strikes.
Parra, nice two-way player. He's already won a couple Gold Gloves. He finished a second last year to Jason Hayward of the St. Louis Cardinals. Good defender. Great arm in the outfield.
On 3-0 he takes it. It's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk for Parra.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. Yoenis Cespedes didn't start in last night's game. He did appear as a pinch hitter. He's in left today. Ghost in center. JD Martinez in right. Kinsler, he's 3rd among all second basemen in 5 defensive runs saved this season. That's one of those WAR stats.
So here is Ryan Braun with 1 on, 1 out. Braun batting .254, walked in last night's ball game, ended up 1 for 3. Also made a nice running catch out at right field. Sends a ground ball back up the middle. Should be 2. Iglesias, Kinsler, and a double play. Just like that, the inning is over. 6-4-3. Here come the Tigers at the bottom of the first. Park. Tigers getting set to take their first swings of the evening. Anthony Ghost will be starting it off as we scope out the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers lineup for the Tigers. Ghost, Kinsler, and Miggy in top 3 spots. JD Martinez in right, Yoenis Cespedes in left, Tyler Collins just up from Toledo. He's the DH tonight. Castellanos, Holiday, and Iglesias rounding out the Detroit starting 9. And they are facing the right-handed offerings tonight of Jimmy Nelson of the Brewers.
And last year, Jimmy Nelson was the minor league pitcher of the year in the Milwaukee Brewers minor league system. He checks in 1-4 this year with an ERA a shade over 4. He's got a big arm. Fastball gets up to 95. He also has a slider and a curveball. Changeup as well, but he doesn't use the changeup all that often.
First pitch on the ground towards short. Quick release there by the shortstop Sardinas to get Ghost.
Let's take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers starting defensive alignment. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Davis, Gomez, Parr in the outfield. Sardinas, Gomez up the middle. Aramis Ramirez at third base today. He was a DH in last night's game. Lind over at first. And Maldonado catching for the second consecutive evening.
Here is Ian Kinsler. Ian has hit safely in his last 3. Last night was 1 for 3 with an RBI. Tigers just could not get the big hit last night. As a result, they lost 3-2.
Tigers have had a difficult time of getting the big hit the last couple of games. Starting on Sunday night in St. Louis, they are 1 for their last 15 with runners in scoring position.
Yikes. Here's the 0-1. Well, it looked like last night they were going to be off and running. A leadoff single by Ghost. He stole second base, advanced in a wild pitch, and then scored on a ground out. But the Tigers had trouble the rest of the evening.
Yeah, Fiers kind of settled in and pitched a pretty good game.
Kinsler waiting on a 1-1 from Jimmy Nelson. That bends in, but low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Now that's the pitch that's been effective for Nelson this year, really, and it's the first time he started throwing its curveball. It's a knuckle curveball. You could see the index finger with the spike on the baseball, and he's been a positive pitch for him so far this year, although the results have not translated into a lot of wins.
Now he's gone 3-1. Nelson was fastball slider last year, added the curveball this season. As Cabrera waits on deck. Here's the 3-1. Kinsler pops it up. Straight back and back into the seats. 3-2 on Ian. 20 RBIs this year for Kinsler. Jimmy Nelson's a big boy, 6'6", 243, out of Klamath Falls, Oregon.
Yeah, he's what they look like, for sure. Where's he from, Oregon?
Oregon. Here's the 3-2. And he walked in, ball 4. Put Kinsler aboard, first walk of the ball game for Nelson. We'll bring up Cabrera.
Anytime you walk anybody with Miguel Cabrera following that batter, you're asking for trouble. And when Miggy comes to the plate these days, as hot as he has been, you want to face him with the bases empty. That way you can pitch around him if you want to. You can simply put him on first base.
Cabrera has a 6-gamer going, had a triple in last night's ball game.
Miggy, as good as he has been, his OPS is over 1,000. We were talking about Bryce Harper last night. Bryce Harper's OPS is over 1,200.
It's ridiculous.
Over 1,200.
I mean, the numbers he's putting up right now, what is he, 22?
Yeah, he's finally arrived, I think.
I know Harper got labeled with maybe as a guy that was overhyped because of some injuries.
Yeah.
Early in his career, but man, this season he's taken off. 0-1 on Cabrera. And Miguel looks at a ball away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that's a slider from Nelson. He has a fastball, as we told you, that will top out at about 96, but his average heater right around 93. Throws a lot of those breaking balls to the left-handers, not as many to the right-handers. More sliders to the right-handed batters than to the lefties.
Cabrera with 30 RBIs this year. Shoots this one in the air toward right field. Not nearly deep enough. Parra is under it. And Kinsler will retreat, and there are 2 gone. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez.
I brought this up in our open tonight. Very important for J.D. Martinez really not to change the thing, batting behind Miguel Cabrera, which adds a lot of pressure. And Victor Martinez now on the 15-day disabled list.
Well, JD's already been through some adversity this year, busting out of an 0-for-25 slump to all of a sudden put together a 9-game hitting streak. Batting in the cleanup slot, vacated by Victor, who's on the DL. Time called now as JD steps out.
And Nelson appears to be one of those types of pitchers that doesn't necessarily have a great move. So for him to shut down the running game, he simply holds the baseball for an extended period of time while on the mound, hoping that the hitter will call timeout and disrupting the timing of the base runner.
Ball 1 to JD.
Max Scherzer was really good at that.
Martinez has got the average up nearly to 260 now. He's at 259. 8 home runs for the slugging right fielder. Kinsler with 5 steals this year. High pop up. That'll get back in the seats. Here are the 9-game hitting streaks we're talking about. J.D. Martinez has a 9-gamer at 400, better than 400 during that stretch. And then there's Iglesias, who's at 333 in his 9-game streak. Now Nelson ready with the 1-1. Instead, back to first he goes, chasing Kinsler back into the bag.
If you're Kinsler and you're thinking about stealing second, this might be the opportunity to go. And more than likely in these particular situations to a dangerous right-handed batter. And Nelson will go to one of his breaking pitches.
Runner goes, and a throw down to second is high into center field. Kinsler is up. He'll get to third. That'll be a steal and an error on Maldonado, who made that throw from his knees.
Outstanding recognition by Ian Kinsler that a breaking ball was possibly coming. Nelson did throw a breaking ball down in the dirt. That's that spiked curveball that bounced. It was picked by Maldonado, but he threw off that left knee, and because he really couldn't finish the throw, he airmailed it into center field, and Ian Kinsler alertly with a pop-up slide gets over to third.
Might be one of those plays where you're probably better served in just holding on to that baseball instead of trying to make a difficult throw.
Especially with the jump that Ian got. Ian now 6 stolen bases, and he hasn't been caught yet this year.
Drill to center field and a base hit. That'll get a run in. JD with a 2-out RBI single, 1-0 Detroit. 10-game hit streak now for Martinez.
When he makes really good, solid contact, there's not a louder sound on the Tigers team. J.D. Martinez generates tremendous bat speed through that hitting zone, and he drives in the first run of the evening for the Tigers. That's a fastball that just really didn't do a whole lot, and it's centered. And right by J.D.
2-out RBI hit. And Martinez now 18 RBIs. Here is Yoenis Cespedes, who's batting in the 5 slot. In there for strike 1 on Cespedes. Yoenis batting a solid 280 right now. He's knocked in 23 this year. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2 now on Cespedes. Yoenis with 13 two-baggers this year. That's good for second in the American League. Trying to keep it going with 2 outs in the first. Tigers an RBI single from JD Martinez, who now draws the throw. Nelson's last start was on Wednesday against the White Sox. Gave up 4 runs on 8 hits. Lost that ball game 4-2. And has given up an early run here in the first inning. Here's the 0-2. Laid off a breaking ball. 1-2 now on Cespedes. Nelson, a product of University of Alabama, was a second-round pick, 2010 of the Milwaukee Brewers. Grounded foul, third base side, right behind Dave Clark. He was ranked as the top prospect in 2014 in the Brewers system by Baseball America.
And he went out and had a really nice year at Nashville, their AAA affiliate.
PCL pitcher of the year last year. It was 10-2. Trying to take care of Cespedes. The 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Cespedes has done a nice job laying off that breaking ball that he was swinging at earlier in the count. 4 of the 5 pitches that Nelson have thrown Cespedes have been breaking balls.
Tyler Collins waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Cespedes out on strikes to end the inning. Tigers get a run on the 2-out hit by JD Martinez.
Throws 3 pitches, the slider, the fastball, the changeup out of the same window, the same arm slot. You really can't tell which pitch it is. Here's the slider. It's got some downward action to the left hand, down and in. That 4-seam fastball, he can spot it wherever he wants to. And this butterfly changeup usually darts down and away from the left-handed batters. That's what hitters will tell you is the most difficult thing about facing Sanchez. You can't really tell which pitch you're going to get, and they'll throw all those pitches in any situation.
And his first one is a strike to Adam Lind, who is leading things off here in the second. Lind at 290. Tigers employing the shift against the Brewers first baseman. The 0-1 is fouled straight back. 0-2. Lind right now mired in a 2-for-24. Had a really good month of April, 333, but May, well, it's not been so kind. Here's the shift with Castellanos moving to right field. That'll bounce in. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lind. former Toronto Blue Jay. Sanchez got himself a double play ball in the first inning after a walk. Lindfowl tips it into the glove for strike 3. Second punch out of the ball game now for Honeywell. It'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. A Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup. Sanchez, career against Ramirez, 2 for 9 with a couple of strikeouts. Honeywell with the advantage over Ramirez, who's had a fabulous career. Shoots the first one on the ground. A short backhanded play. Iglesias plants and throws him out with a nice pick from Miggy.
That's a nice job by Iglesias. Once he got to the ball, he knew that he had time to set his feet and to grab the baseball the way that he wanted to throw that four-seamer back across the diamond to Miguel, and he bounced it over there, but it was a nice play by Miguel Cabrera on the other side. He knew who the runner was. He knew he had time to take his time.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Chris Davis. Davis did not have a hit last night. He was 0 for 4 and is now 0 for his last 10.
And Chris was batting in that number 2 slot last night against the left-hander Kyle Lobstein.
Drilled to left field on a line. Cespedes will run it down. 1-2-3 inning for Sanchez.
He's got a warrior mentality, and he fully wanted to show his teammates that he could play through pain. But I think it was it finally came to the realization to him that it was more than just pain. It was an injury that had to be taken care of, or he wouldn't be able to perform the way he's used to performing.
That was Brad Ausmus talking about Victor Martinez and the conversation they had with Victor after the ball game last night. And I think Victor proved he could play in pain and try and play through it, but he just could not do it effectively. And so he went on the disabled list today. Meanwhile, Tyler Collins was called up, and here he is. Collins sends a ground ball back up the middle into center. Base hit.
The Tigers made the right decision by finally putting Victor on the disabled list. He clearly was not helping the team, and he was not performing the way that he's capable of performing. But once he gets healthy, and there's no doubt he'll extend this lineup.
Hard to tell how long it's going to take Martinez, but he'll get 15 days now to see where he ends up in 2 weeks. In the meantime, Collins steps in and slams a single to center. Here is the move the Tigers officially made today. Collins was at 248 down at AAA. Here's Nick Castellanos. Swing and a miss, 0-1 on Nick. Castellanos 1 for 4 in last night's game, batting .239. Got 3 home runs on the year. Tigers in the ball game last night ended up with a total of 9 hits. They out-hit Milwaukee 9-8, but lost by 1. Driven to right field. Parra is under it. First out of the inning. Hey, by the way, stay tuned for Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the 2 for $5 mix or match filet of fish and 10-piece chicken McNuggets. It's coming up after the game tonight. 1 on 1 out for Brian Holiday. Holiday 3 for 6 in the big leagues this year. Started the season down in Toledo. Runner goes and a chopper back up the middle. They'll have only one play, and that's to first base. Holiday retired. Collins advancing to second with 2 gone.
It's a hit and run there. Put Collins on the move, forcing Holiday into swinging the bat, and now they have a runner in scoring position for Jose Iglesias, who comes in leading the American League in batting.
And Iglesias, like Martinez, entering the game with a 9-game hitting streak. Jose last night was 1 for 3. He's knocked in 6 this year. Ball 1.
They've got a couple of outstanding arms in their outfield. The center fielder Gomez has a tremendous arm playing in center field. As a matter of fact, he has a right fielder's arm in Parra. In right field, we told you that he's already won a couple of gold gloves, and he is always getting tons of assists from that position.
Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Iglesias. Had the game winner in St. Louis on Saturday night. That single in the 10th inning, which sent the Tigers on to victory. Detroit taking 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. Ball high, 3-0. That Cardinals series, in some ways, Rod, looked like it might be a launching pad for the team to go into that park, take 2 out of 3, but they came home last night and, well, they were beaten by Milwaukee.
Yeah, on any given day, any team in the major leagues can beat another team regardless of what the record states, and especially if that other pitcher outperforms your starting pitcher.
Lost him on 4 straight.
But it was a nice series in St. Louis. Tigers had a chance to see another really good big league team from Missouri. Of course, the Kansas City Royals, they also reside in the state of Missouri.
And the driver's seat is brought to you by Kia tonight. Highest batting average. Players on new teams with a minimum of 100 at bats. Well, D. Gordon, man, no one's catching him right now. He's at 406, but Ghosts on that list.
You know, Escobar having a really good season so far for Washington. Josh Donaldson, you know, he's just going to hit anyway. He can pull.
Goes 0 for 1 with a ground out. Ball 1.
Anthony Ghost should get a pretty good fastball to hit here from Nelson. He has started to miss with some of those breaking balls at the bottom of the zone, and the Tigers have done a nice job of laying off some of those breaking balls that aren't strikes. Excuse me.
Tigers on top, 1-0 in the second. They have 2 men on and 2 out. Nelson has walked a couple of batters already in this game. Here's the 1-0. Nelson, one of those guys that had 3 really good starts at the beginning of the season. His ERA was a little bit over 1 after 3 starts, but his last 4, much different story. The ERA nearly 7. In there, a strike called. 1-2 on Ghost.
Anthony Ghost would like to have that last fastball at 93 back that he couldn't get the bat off the shoulders on.
Anthony this year has 5 3-hit games. Thought about pulling the trigger, laid back, at the count evens now 2-2.
And Jimmy Nelson, the pitcher, took a couple of steps toward the dugout. He thought he had strike 3.
Pretty close.
And Maldonado almost stole that strike. He's the catcher, of course.
Missed again. So it's 3-2, which will start the runners for the Tigers. Kinsler waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ghost goes down on strikes, and the Tigers will strand a pair. 2 in the books. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Dodge, come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover events. And by Kraft, individually wrapped singles make something amazing. There's a strike called on Luis Sardinas as we go to the top of the 3rd now at Comerica Park. It is 1-0 in favor of the Tigers in this one. Sardinas 4 for 10 after his call up from AAA. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez so far so good. Gave up a walk in the 1st, but then got a double play and was able to breeze through the 2nd. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Sardinas last night was 1 for 4. Holiday flashing signs tonight. The 1-2. Line foul back in the seats. Sardinius last year with Texas played in 43 games in the major leagues. Giovanni Gallardo was a member of Milwaukee. He went to Texas, and part of that trade was Sardinius coming back the other way. 2-2 the count. Waiting on deck is Hector Gomez. Ground ball right side. Routine there for Kinsler. One gone. Time for a game break. Here's Mickey York. Whoa. They're going after Liriano, who was once a Twin in Minnesota. 21-17, 3 games back. The surprising Minnesota Twins.
And Brian Dozier must be making an adjustment as well, because he usually does not drive balls that far to right center field. He got all of that.
Gomez is batting .217.
And don't look now, but that Central starting to tighten up a little bit. Chicago White Sox have also won 6 straight games, so it's starting to look like it's the best division in all of baseball.
Really good matchup tonight in KC. Cincinnati against the Royals. Cueto and Ventura. Ball inside. 2-1 on Hector Gomez. One for 4 last night for Gomez. Pulled on the ground to the left side. Base hit, maybe more. Gomez taking the turn. Cespedes with the strong arm. His throw not in time. And Gomez has a 1-out double.
And Cespedes looked like he slipped when he tried to throw that ball, therefore couldn't get on it as much as he wanted to, and nice sliding double there. He scorched that ball.
Yeah, he did. That thing was it was by Castellanos before he could react. Here's Martin Maldonado tying run at second. In there, strike 1 on Maldonado. It's the first hit of the ball game for the Brewers. 161 average for Maldonado, basically because he was in an 0 for 19 slump that he broke last night with a base hit. Good pitch, but just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that was the base hit right before Carlos Gomez. It drove in the game winner, and with a base hit right back up the middle off of Kyle Lobstein. We'll see Loesch tomorrow.
1-1. High fly ball, left center field. Ghosts on the move. Still going back. Warning track. Thing went to the front of the wall before the catch was made. The runner will move up.
There's a lot of wind blowing out to left field today. You get one up in that jet stream, you got a pretty good chance of driving it out of here tonight.
2 outs, runner at third. MGM Grand Detroit presents the scouting report on the Tigers defense, and as you can see, we've talked about this all season long, that it's been much better, and well, the numbers kind of point that out. Tigers much better in the defensive run save category by leaps and bounds.
They've got some good speed on the defensive end now with Ghost and Iglesias. Cespedes also a really good defender in left.
So Gomez now will try and drive in a 2-out run. The Tigers got their run with 2 outs in the first. Cardinals struck out in the first inning. Trying to drive home Gomez. Here's the 1-0. Bunting, third base side, and a good one. Castellanos on the bare hand will shovel it home, but no chance there. It got by Holiday, but Gomez at first base did not notice it. He'll stay there, and it's a 1-1 game.
It's the 3rd RBI of the series already for Carlos Gomez. And tremendous bunt here. He took his time. It's a changeup, and it allowed him to get the bat up and get the ball down right where he wanted to. And with his speed, there was no way that they were going to be able to make a play on him. Castellanos tried to make the only play that he had.
Each team now with a run on 2 hits. Brewers have tied it up here in the 3rd, and here is Gerardo Parra.
We saw James McCann bunt for a base hit last night for an RBI with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's one thing when a catcher does it. It's another thing when Gomez does it. Carlos getting his 16th RBI of the year.
Good changeup there thrown to Parra. We told you that he came in with really good numbers against Anibal Sanchez, career batting .571 against Anibal.
Runner goes. Holiday with no throw. Stolen base for Gomez, his 4th.
Gomez came to play this series.
Yes, he did. On the heels of that beating a couple of days ago. Brewers now a chance to knock in the go-ahead run. Here's the 1-1. Parra walked on 4 straight pitches back in the 1st. Then was erased on a double play ball. Gold Glove finalist last year, did not win the award. Jason Hayward of the Braves won it from the National League. He was with the Diamondbacks last year for most of the year, and then was traded to Milwaukee. Three and 1 on Parra. Got Ryan Braun waiting on deck. And he walked him again.
And apparently he wants nothing to do with Parra. He's walked him twice already, and why wouldn't he with a base open and a guy hitting .571 against you in his career?
Jeff Jones coming out now, the Tiger pitching coach. Got Ryan Braun coming up.
And you want to be careful against Ryan Braun, especially on first pitch fastballs. He's got outstanding numbers when he puts the ball in play when swinging at the first pitch. He hasn't done very well in his career as a designated hitter, batting just 103, but batting 305 otherwise as far as a career is concerned.
I don't know too many regular players that like to DH.
They don't like it. Mickey doesn't like it either. His numbers aren't very good as a DH.
So Braun, who knocked into a double play in the 1st, will stand in. 2 on 2 out, a run in for Milwaukee. Braun has hit safely in 10 of his last 12. 8 home runs on the season. Ball 1. Braun back in April had a grand slam against the Reds. 23 driven in this year. In there for a strike. 1-1. Braun.
Braun is one of those guys that has some really nice power to center field and right field. He doesn't necessarily have to pull that ball to left field to reach the seats. 7 of his 8 homers, either straightaway center, right center, or right field.
Holiday able to block it, and the runners will hold. Braun was not drafted out of high school, made it pretty clear that he was going to play in college, and he went down to play in Miami, where he had a sparkling career, and in his junior year was moved to third base. He was actually drafted as a third baseman.
It had to be a fun 3 years down in Miami.
You know what? That's exactly what Braun said. Nathan, I'm not going to lie. It was a lot of fun.
I don't think so, Mom and Dad. I'm going down to South Beach.
Driven deep to right field. Down the line in the corner it goes. JD looks up, and that ball is going to be a home run.
Well, we just showed you the fact that he does have power in that direction. Now, 8 of his 9 home runs have gone the opposite way.
A 3-run shot to make it 4-1 Milwaukee.
That's a 4-seam fastball that is up in the strike zone, and he is one of the few right-handers that can climb the ladder with a velocity of 93 and still hit it the opposite way and reach the seats.
It's a matter of fair or foul. And that's number 9 for Braun.
Anibal Sanchez has nearly given up twice as many home runs this year as he did all of last year. He's given up 7 this year, just 4 homers total in 2014.
It's a really amazing stat. There's a big swing by Lynn. Lynn struck out in the second. Here's the 1-1. Popped up. Heading back to the seats right behind the Brewer dugout. 1-2 the count on Adam Lynn. So Sanchez is stung for a 4 spot here in the third after a 7-pitch 1-2-3 second. Braun doing the honors, a 3-run shot. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Adam Lynn. Now 2 for his last 25. Lynn did not start in the ball game last night. He did pinch hit and was walked intentionally in the 8th. Here's a high drive into right field. Martinez going back to the track, to the wall, and this one is gone. Adam Lynn with a solo shot. Back-to-back homers for Milwaukee. 5-1 ball game. Well, it's officially twice as many homers now.
Yes, it is. Adam Lynn's got some pop in his bat. It's an 88-mile-per-hour changeup that kind of tailed right back into the nitro zone of Adam Lynn, and he got underneath it, and with his power, able to hit it about 4 or 5 rows deep in the seats and right.
First one is in there for a strike on Aramis Ramirez. They are celebrating right now on that Brewers bench. Homers by Braun and Lynn. It's a 5-run inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Aramis Ramirez. Thrown out on a nice play by Jose Iglesias in his first at bat. That was back in the second. Drilled to deep left field. This one is going to go. They have gone back to back to back. And it's 6-1 Milwaukee. Wow. Braun, Lind, and now Ramirez. That thing was killed. This is 5th of the year.
Those hanging breaking balls, they go a long, long way, and that's exactly what Aramis Ramirez got from Anibal Sanchez, a hanging breaking ball up at his eyes, and he killed it. He also homered in last night's game. Solo shot off Lobstein.
It has turned into a 6-run inning for Milwaukee. Here's the 9th man to bat in the inning. It'll be Chris Davis. 50 now for Sanchez, who has thrown 33 of them in this inning. Big swing there by Davis. Lined out to left field his first at bat. 6 runs on 5 hits in the ball game for Milwaukee. 3 of them homers. Driven to center field. Ghosts on the move. Still going back. Anthony runs it down. That'll end the inning, but a big inning it is. 6 runs, 5 hits, 3 homers, and it's now 6-1 Brew Crew.
Martinez and Ryan Braun all have similar type swings. They all let the ball travel very well. They all have tremendous power in the opposite way. As a matter of fact, JD Martinez, when retooling his swing last year before the season started, he watched a lot of video on Miggy and Braun, and because of that, JD Martinez has been able to master that same swing that Braun and also Miggy have had since they've come to the big leagues.
Well, some work to do now. The Tigers are down 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd, and Kinsler starts it off. 35 pitch inning for Anibal Sanchez. And another one missing high from the right-hander. The count goes 2-0.
Only Anibal Sanchez really knows whether he pitched around Parra for the second time today, walking him before the big bats in the middle of the order were able to go deep. It's the only 2 walks of the day for Anibal Sanchez, and we told you that Parra had great numbers against Anibal Sanchez coming in.
2-1 on Kinsler. Ian looks at ball 3 inside, 3-1. Will be followed by Cabrera, then J.D. Martinez. Still a ton of time left in this game. Tigers down 6-1 though. A strike called. Kinsler on his way to first base is called back. Fouled away. Last time the Brewers hit 3 consecutive home runs was in August of 2012 against the Cubs. Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart did it back then. This time Braun, Lind, and Ramirez. Now the 3-2. Did he go? Did not. Leadoff walk. Second base on balls for Kinsler in the game. And the 3rd given up by Nelson already. Time to make it pay. Here is Cabrera. Miggy flied out to right field in his first at bat. High towering drive, right center field. Gomez on the run, still going back. He's going to run it down in front of the wall.
I thought that had enough to get out, but there's a lot of wind blowing across toward left field today to kind of knock that one down. But Mickey hit that ball to right center field about as hard as he can hit one.
It sounded good enough.
Oh, no doubt. He crushed it. He thought he had it.
Tell him to get back in the weight room?
No, I'm not going to tell him that tonight.
Here's JD Martinez. JD singled in a run with 2 outs in the first. $18 RBIs and a 10-game hitting streak now for Martinez. That is the one unforgiving part of this ballpark. Dead center is 420. You get deep out there in right center field, and balls can just get swallowed up. There's a throwback out at first, and Kinsler got back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers under Craig Counsell since he took over 7-7 with their victory last night. They were 7-18 under Ron Renicky when he was let go. And so the Brewers showing some improvement record wise. Ground ball third off the glove of the third baseman Ramirez, but it's picked up by the shortstop Sardinas. How about that? Ball was scorched off the bat of JD Martinez.
And Sardinas, after the ball rolled up the arm of Ramirez, he showed some arm strength across the diamond to get JD.
He got it by plenty. The old 5-6-3.
That's not really all that uncommon these days with all the shifts.
Good point. All the numbers are messed up now.
For sure.
Here is Cespedes. Yoenis struck out in the first inning. JD with a couple of hard hit balls tonight.
And Cespedes took that fastball right down the middle. It's a hittable pitch. His first time up, Jimmy Nelson gave him a steady diet of breaking balls, curves, and sliders, striking him out.
Cespedes, a lot of extra base hits this year, 19 of them, which is good for second in the American League. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Yoenis. Nelson came in with a road ERA this year north of 7. Tigers so far just 1 run on 2 hits against him. Now the 2-1. High towering fly ball. Left center field. It appears Davis will settle under it to make the play. Tigers get a walk, do not score. We go to the 4th.
And Ryan Braun, 3-run home run the opposite way on a fastball. Solo shot by Adam Lynn on the changeup. And a breaking ball that was hanging for Aramis Ramirez, and he played long ball as well. First time in Anibal Sanchez's career that he's given up 3 home runs in an inning.
Well, Sanchez goes to work against the bottom of the Milwaukee lineup here in the 4th inning. Sardinas leads it off, and he shoots one right back off Sanchez. It'll roll towards second and have no play.
Yeah, right in the glove and right out of the glove of Sanchez.
I wonder if he thought it was hit harder than it was.
Probably exactly what happened.
Leadoff man aboard. Base hit for Sardinas. Here's Gomez, who got things started last inning with a double. Brewers now have 6 hits.
And very important for Anibal Sanchez to keep his double play in order. And don't allow Sardinas to get a good jump off first.
0-1 on Gomez. Hector with 1 home run this year, his first career home run, and it came against Clayton Kershaw. Runner bluffs, and it's shot foul back out of play. 0-2 on Gomez. Sanchez facing all 9 men back in the 3rd. When Milwaukee scored 6 times. The 0-2. Ball high. Thought about it, but laid off.
Anibal's made 3 starts already this year against the Minnesota Twins, and he's 2-1 with a 1.66 ERA. And coming into play today against everybody else, before the 6 runs today, he is 1-3 with an ERA already north of 6. So that's taken a hike.
Runner goes, slow bouncer to 3rd. Castellanos will take the out at first base. 1 gone. Well, see the Tigers play the Brewers tomorrow or the Astros on Thursday and get 4 tickets, hot dogs, bags of chips, and drinks for only $76. The weekday value pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online, tigers.com. The much improved Houston Astros coming to town.
They've got the best record in the American League.
Ball hit in the air, straightaway center for Anthony Gose. 2 gone as Maldonado is retired. Yeah, I would not have believed you until I looked at the numbers myself. And of course, we've known all season long the Astros playing well, but they are 11 games over the 500 mark.
Angels 5.5 games back at the start of play this evening.
Top of the order now. Here is Gomez. Carlos 1 out of 2. Single in a run in the 3rd. Big swing there, 0-1. Oh, 2 now on Gomez. Well, we haven't seen the helmet fly off yet.
Not yet. Stay tuned.
That usually happens a couple of times a game. One and 2. Brewers have been clutch in this series. They have 7 2-out RBIs. And the 1-2. Bouncing in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gomez last night was 2 out of 5. And he's got another RBI in this ball game, and last night knocked in a pair. Two is fouled back out of play.
In case you're wondering, Holiday, he caught the last start against Minnesota. And when Sanchez was on the mound, they worked beautifully that day. Only 5 hits that afternoon and by the Minnesota Twins. Today, not so fortunate.
All of the scoring for Milwaukee in 1 inning. The third, the 6-run third. Fill it now, 3-2 on Carlos Gomez. You see the ratio on Sanchez, not all that good. 38 strikes, 27 balls. And about to throw his 66th pitch of the game here. We're only in the 4th. Pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get down, go to the wall, and drive in another run. Gomez having himself a series, has his 2nd hit and 2nd RBI tonight.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers are a very aggressive team, and everything that Sanchez has thrown up in the strike zone, they've absolutely hit it extremely hard. He's done for the night.
Brad Ausmus coming out to take out Sanchez.
Yeah, 4-seam fastball upstairs above the belt buckle that Gomez was able to get on top of.
So after going 8 innings in his last start against Minnesota, Sanchez will not survive the 4th here today. It's a wall side windows pitching change, and will return. NBA playoff action plus highlights on tonight's MLB games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight at 11 on Fox Sports 1, or you can see a simulcast right here on Fox Sports Detroit. So the Tigers go to the bullpen now. Sanchez out of the game. They'll bring in the right-hander. That's Alex Wilson to take over.
And 9th game for Wilson, 14 2/3 innings. He'll be asked to get quite a few outs here this evening. He's the long guy in the Tigers bullpen.
Well, he's done just that. I mean, he's done really good work since being called up. Tigers bullpen in the month of May with an ERA of 1.31, best in Major League Baseball. Swing and a miss. Looked like Parra caught Holiday in the backswing. Boy, it was looking like it was going to be a breeze of a game tonight for Sanchez. He threw just 17 pitches in the first 2 innings. And then the 6-run third. It changed drastically. Here's the 0-2, high and away. 1-2 on Gerardo Parra. A couple of walks, runs scored tonight. Now Wilson with the 1-2. Parra takes low, blocked by Holiday. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Anibal Sanchez has now given up 34 earned runs on the season, which is tops in the American League.
Really?
Yep. 34 earned runs. Just doesn't seem right.
No, not from a guy that won the ERA title a couple of years ago. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Parra is out of there. So are the Brewers. They add another, though, on the double by Gomez. 7-1 Milwaukee.
Fly ball, right field. Ordonez backing up. He is there. No-hitter for Justin Verlander. The first Tigers no-hitter since 1984 when Jack Morris no-hit the White Sox. What a scene at Comerica Park.
That was in June of 2007 when JV no-hit the Brew Crew. The first of his 2 no-hitters. Right here at Comerica Park. Different story here tonight, though. The Brewers have the lead 7-1 as Tyler Collins will stand in here in the 4th. Ball 1 to Collins. He'll be followed by Castellanos and then Holiday. Singled in the 2nd inning. Collins back up from the minor leagues. And Tyler looks at a ball outside. Last year, Toledo hit 18 home runs. This year did not have one in the first month and a half of the year. But he has sock in his bat. We know that. And he's ahead 2-0. 2-1 on Collins.
Collins was one of the final cuts in spring training this year. And Brad Osmus electing to go with 2 middle infielders as his backups in Romine and Perez. Didn't think he'd be able to give Collins enough at bats.
Tyler now is ahead 3-1. Nick Castellanos waiting in the on-deck circle. 7 runs, 7 hits. Milwaukee, 1 run, 2 hits for the Tigers. Nelson down with the 3-1. Swing and a miss there by Collins. Full count. Tyler this spring hit a couple of home runs. 3-2. Pounded back out of play.
Last September 1st against Austin Adams of the Cleveland Indians. First career home run for Tyler Collins.
And he lost it, ball 4, so that's a leadoff walk now for 2 consecutive innings for Nelson. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. I got 4 walks now for Nelson.
That's exactly what I have. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Castellanos flying out his first time up. Breaking ball, strike 1.
Nelson really hasn't pitched with a whole lot of leads this year. Coming into this contest tonight, his team only averaging him 3 runs per game. They've gotten him 7 so far tonight. He's probably, what in the world is going on?
Probably saying that back in the 3rd when they hit back-to-back-to-back homers. Lifted foul back out of play. 0-2 on Nick. 6'6", 243 out of Klamath Falls, Oregon. Jimmy Nelson, 25 years of age. Dominated in the minor leagues, was 10-2 with a 1.46 ERA last year.
And he dominated in a league where, generally speaking, is dominated by hitters.
Yeah, that's a good point. The PCL. The 0-2. And this time Castellanos laid off.
A 1.46 earned run average in the Pacific Coast League. The opponent's batting average just 179, under the Mendoza line.
Broken bat roller towards short, should be 2. There's a 6-4-3. Double play for the Milwaukee infield. 2 gone, bases empty. We'll bring up Brian Holiday. So Nelson has found a way to pitch around the walks, except for the first one. He gave up a walk in the first, then later scored, but the other 3 have not. Holiday bounced out his only time. Strike called on Brian. 3 for 7 now in the big leagues this year. Holiday had 3 RBIs in that win against Minnesota right before the Tigers went to St. Louis. Behind in the count here, 0-2. Ball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Nelson trying to do a little bit of umpiring himself out there. Second time he's thought he had strike 3 and walked off the mound toward the dugout.
That rarely works. Here's the 1-2. Level the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Holiday reach, Iglesias would be next. Tigers tonight have been limited to just 2 hits. They've been out hit 7-2. Inside, didn't go, I don't believe. Nope. It's Brian Gorman said that he held up 3-2. So somehow Holiday now has worked the count in his favor. Popped up. Left side of the infield. Sardinas the shortstop. And that's going to be it for the Tigers. No runs, a walk, nobody left. On our way to the 5th.
And here is the Nissan drive of the game. Ryan Braun stepped up his last time up. It was the 3rd inning with a couple of runners aboard and hit his 9th home run of the season. 8 of the 9 home runs have gone to either right field or center field. So Braun is one of those guys that has some really good pop in his bat.
Showcased it here tonight. In fact, the Brewers did as a team. They hit 3 home runs in that 3rd.
That 4th pitch was up at the top of the strike zone, right down the middle, that he was able to get on top of and hit off the foul pole down the right field line.
I think it kind of looked like a weather radar there.
It did.
7-1, Brewers have the lead as we go to the 5th. Braun starts it off. And it's in there, a strike call. Wilson took over, struck out Parra to end the 4th. Braun, Lind, and Ramirez 3, 4, and 5 in the Milwaukee lineup tonight. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Ryan Braun has made 5 All-Star teams. He was the MVP. And back in 2011. Matt Kemp finished 2nd that year.
Kemp nearly won the Triple Crown that year.
He sure did.
And finished 2nd. He had more homers, more RBIs than Braun. Here's the 1-1, lifted in the air to center. Right, it goes. 1 away in the 5th. Well, celebrate Polish American Night this Friday when the Tigers battle the Houston Astros at 7:08. Prior to the game, enjoy live polka music and dancing. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. It's become a tradition here in the Motor City. Polish American Night. Here's Adam Lind. Lind homered in the 3rd, was 2 for 25 before that home run. His 7th homer of the year. There's the shift that they play against him. Wilson hits the outside corner. The count is 0-2. The back-to-back homers in the 3rd featured Braun, Lind, and Ramirez. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him, strike 3. So Wilson has retired all 3 that he's faced, 2 via the strikeout.
Yeah, good pitch here at 85 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. Little backdoor breaking ball.
It'll bring in Baramas Ramirez. In the air toward left center. Cespedes is there, and it's an easy 1-2-3 for Wilson. No runs, hits, nobody left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Detroit is brought to you by Myers. Save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Nice time settling in here in downtown Detroit. Spinall Brewers tonight. They lead this one by a score of 7-1. We'll see if the Tigers can kickstart the offense quickly here. It'll be Jose Iglesias to start things off. Iglesias, Ghosts, and Kinsler. And it's a strike called, 0-1. Jose walked his first at bat. Nelson goes back to work. The 0-1 pitch. Spins high, and the count evens now 1-1. Nine-game hit streak for the Tigers' number 9 hitter. Came in leading the league in batting average. A little chopper back up the middle. They're going to have to hurry. Quick throw. Dropped to first base, and Iglesias is safe. Looked like they would have gotten him.
Yeah, it does look like they would have had him had Lynn been able to catch that ball. It's a nice play by Sardinas. Coming in, grabbing the ball, do-or-die fashion to hit Lynn in a bad spot.
Oh, my goodness.
Right in the glove.
Right in the webbing. Here's our T-Mobile game changer. Speaking of Mr. Iglesias, highest batting average this season. We told you the Tiger shortstop led the American League. He is 3rd overall with Adrian Gonzalez and D. Gordon ahead of him.
A couple of table setters along with some big boys. Gonzalez, Prince.
There's an error on the first baseman to start things off. Roll towards second. Only have one out, and that's Ghosts at first base. One away. Will advance the runner to second. And it brings up Ian Kinsler. Nelson has walked Kinsler twice. And both times immediately after the walk, he has gotten Cabrera to fly out. There's a strike on Ian, who didn't like it, according to his body language. He had walked, stole a base, scored a run in the first inning. 6 for his last 11 official at bats. It's in the air down the left field line. Into foul ground it goes. Davis unable to get there. Now the 0-2. Got him, strike three. Kinsler caught looking, and well, he doesn't believe it. And now he's going to get in the face of Tripp Gibson, and he's about to get thrown out if he doesn't walk away. He got right in his face, and he's gone.
Now, why would he throw him out when he's walking back toward the dugout after he'd already said his piece?
He must have said a couple of magical words. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's exactly what Brad's talking about. He was walking back to the dugout.
Now, the last thing the Tigers need now is for Kinsler to be tossed out of the game, but that's exactly what has happened. 2 gone. And Ian has been ejected from the game. Let's see. Certainly borderline. Cabrera couldn't hold up 0-1.
I don't think Ian was liking the strike zone on this first pitch either. Slider, that was called a strike. He thought that one was down too.
And that's probably why I said that's twice after the strikeout. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Gobbled up there by the third baseman Ramirez, and that is that for the Tigers. So no runs, an error, but nobody left. Kinsler has been ejected. That was thrown out for saying something to Tripp Gibson.
That was a quick hook because it looked like Brad was on his way back to the dugout too and got tossed.
That was the quickest hook ever.
Brad never even made it out.
No, we assumed it was Kinsler. It was not. And you may have heard some language. We apologize for that. Kinsler, of course, upset about being called out on strikes, but he's still in the game. So it was Brad Ausmus that was ejected. Here is Al Albuquerque in a wall-side windows pitching change.
They need to get Albuquerque on track, and he has been better the last couple of times that he's gone out there, but the strikeouts are way down so far this year for Albuquerque. In 15 games, only 7 strikeouts, and he usually averages at least a strikeout per inning.
Meanwhile, Wilson goes 1 1/3 and retires all 4 batters he faces. So here come the Brewers in the 6th inning. Chris Davis will start things off against Albuquerque. Tigers going to have to go fairly deep into the bullpen tonight because Sanchez did not survive the fourth. Davis 0 for 2 in the air twice tonight. Swing and a miss.
Tigers bullpen has been very good this year. And they check in with a 2.95 ERA, which is fourth. Inherited runners, only 14% of those have scored. That's the best in the American League. A lot of positive numbers regarding the bullpen.
Well, and you can break it down further. In the month of May, they came in with a 1.31 ERA. So what was supposed to be a rough spot for this team, or a weakness coming out of spring camp, has really been pretty good.
It really helps when you have that guy at the back end, that last guy that tried out of the bullpen, do his job, and that would be Joakim Soria, who has been flawless so far this season.
1-2 is swung on and missed. Davis is dispatched. One out. Game break time. Here's Mickey York. Twins keep rolling. Meanwhile, Albuquerque delivers ball 1 to Luis Sardinas.
Twins are playing like their manager played, Paul Molitor. He played the game with a chip on his shoulder.
Ground ball first base side. Cabrera will backhand. 2 up, 2 down. 6 in a row retired by Tigers pitching now. Here's Hector Gomez. Double ground out for Gomez. Also a run scored. He swings at the first pitch. Into center field, shallow ghost coming in. And that's going to be an easy 1-2-3 for Albuquerque. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th.
Bunting for a base hit with a runner on third, 2 outs for an RBI and a single. Then they had 3 consecutive home runs in the third inning. Braun, Lynn, and Ramirez. And then it's that Gomez kid again, who's driven in 4 runs in the series already, whistling a double down in the left field corner. And the Brewers on top of the Tigers tonight, 7-1.
So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here is our graphical game summary. 3 consecutive homers in that third. Ausmus ejected in the 5th inning, and 7 runs, 7 hits for Milwaukee. Run on 2 hits for the Tigers. First one home is swung on and missed by J.D. Martinez. Single to drive in a run back in the 1st inning. In fact, the only Tigers run so far, at least. J.D. with that base hit, extending his hitting streak to 10 consecutive games. Nelson has been able to bob and weave his way through 5 innings tonight. Breaking ball spins away. Pulled on the ground to third, straight at the third baseman Ramirez. And JD's out of there, 1 gone.
Here is our high-speed pit brought to you by Xfinity. And Jimmy Nelson has topped out at 95 here tonight. And he's gone as low as 82 with that new spike curveball that he has started to throw this year. That's been a pretty good pitch for him.
Nelson now has retired 7 consecutive Tigers hitters as Yoenis Cespedes stands in. Only 2 Tigers hits tonight. We talk about the Martinez single and the base hit by Tyler Collins in the 2nd. That has been it. Although Nelson has walked 4. Strike 1 on Yoenis. Cespedes tonight, strikeout, flyout. Swing and a miss, and a healthy cut there by Yoenis.
He's been throwing Yoenis breaking balls all night long. This at bat and a couple of fastballs in the mid-90s. That big swing that Yoenis took there. Usually the result is swinging right through a good fastball when you take that big a hack.
Broken bat roller towards short. A step to his right, Sardinas. Cespedes out, 2 gone.
Sardinas has got a good arm.
Well, the Tigers conclude their weekend series with the Astros on Sunday at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day. And all kids 14 and under receive a free Shane Green poster. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Shane Green will face Kyle Loesch tomorrow in the series finale here against the Brewers.
Kyle Loesch coming off an outstanding start, his last outing against the New York Metropolitans, going 8 innings in New York.
Collins left the strike zone, 0-1. Single and a walk for Tyler. Those Metropolitans are leading the East by a game over Washington.
A lot of surprising teams out there early. Houston's one, Minnesota's one, Mets another one.
Strike call.
A lot of parity in the game of baseball these days. Last year, a couple of wild card teams made it all of the way to the World Series.
Right, exactly.
The Giants and the Kansas City Royals.
Here's the 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Collins caught looking. 9 straight retired by Jimmy Nelson. The Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 6th. Comerica Park. How about some news and notes? Corey Kluber becoming the first player since Dennis Eckersley in 1976 with consecutive games of 12 or more strikeouts. And look at the tear that Bryce Harper is on.
Did it again?
Over to the first inning in his last 12 games, 10 long balls.
Really?
That is like, that's video game stuff. Albuquerque back to work and delivers a strike. Martin Maldonado leads it off, the number 9 hitter.
Harper was back-to-back in Player of the Week awards. He won it back-to-back weeks in the National League.
He's carrying the Nationals right now, who checked in tonight just a game behind the Mets. Maldonado has put the ball in the air twice, 0 for 2, couple of flyouts. Rolls that one foul. Tigers tonight have been limited to just 2 hits. Albuquerque came on in the 6th inning, got him 1-2-3. After Alex Wilson went an inning and a third of scoreless baseball, there's Gene Lamont handling the managerial duties now with the ejection of Brad Ausmus. Fouled away. 1-2 on Maldonado. Originally property of the Angels, they then released him. 5th year now with the Milwaukee Brewers. Lucroy is on the DL, so he is seeing some playing time. Bouncing ball second base side. Kinsler on the move. And Maldonado's 0 for 3. 1 out. Hey, by the way, it's a Fox Sports Detroit Prize Pack Tuesday brought to you by Meyer. You can enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would absolutely love. Check it out. Here's Carlos Gomez. Ball 1 high.
Good fastball there thrown by Albuquerque at 94. It's the one thing they've been encouraging him to do the last number of years. Throw more fastballs. You've got a good one.
To center field, it'll drop. And Gomez, another hit, his 3rd of the night.
Here's where the issues have been for Albuquerque this year. For whatever reason, not a whole lot of bite, not a lot of depth on his breaking ball. That one's just kind of spinning up there, and it doesn't really do anything. And he's thrown a lot of breaking balls like that this year. He hasn't really had that really sharp slider, which has allowed him to pile up so many strikeouts.
Well, the Tiger bullpen had retired 8 straight before that single, and that is the 8th hit of the game for Milwaukee. Gerardo Parra stands in. A couple of walks and a run scored tonight for Parra. Former Arizona Diamondback, parts of 6 years over in the National League.
Played for our good buddy, Kirk Gibson.
Yeah.
In Arizona.
I guess technically he's still in the National League. 2 balls, no strikes. Brewers for so long were part of the American League.
Right.
They went to the National League in '98. Milwaukee originally the Seattle Pilots, and that team lasted 1 year before Bud Selig acquired them in bankruptcy court and brought them to Milwaukee. Now 3-0 on Parra. Albuquerque's 3-0. That's it. They're 3-1. Sanchez was bounced from the game in the 4th inning. Wilson took over. Now Albuquerque, who delivers another strike, 3-2.
Now here in the past, in this particular situation, Albuquerque would throw a slider 9 out of 10 times. We'll see how much confidence he has in his slider here. He threw it.
Count stays full, 3-2.
Well, Darnell Coles is the new hitting coach for the Milwaukee Brewers. He was the assistant hitting coach to Wally Joyner last year. He has his Brewers hitters. They're rolling here tonight. What a guy Darnell Coles is.
Bouncing ball, base hit, right field. Gomez will hold at second base, and back-to-back runners now for Milwaukee. Yeah, the former Tiger, we got a chance to know Darnell last year when he was the assistant hitting coach here. Really good guy. Very talented.
He's the head man in charge these days. He was a manager in the minor leagues with the Brewers before coming to Detroit that 1 year as the assistant to Wally Joyner. So a lot of these guys that are in the big leagues right now, they played for Darnell Coles, including the pitcher tonight, Jimmy Nelson. He had him in Double-A a couple of years ago.
Here's Ryan Braun. 0-1 on Braun. 3-run bomb back in the third for Braun.
Braun not real big in stature. It doesn't appear to be the kind of guy that would have the kind of pop the opposite way that he has.
Castellanos will get him by half a step.
And yeah, he just lobbed that one over there.
2 outs, runners advance.
He comes in, he grabs with the glove and just kind of lobs it over there, and Ryan Braun really hustling, nearly beat it out.
So here comes Adam Lind.
Base open. You really don't have to pitch to Lind if you don't want to. I know you're already down by 6, but if you want to limit the damage, you got a nice parking spot for him.
Lind has struck out twice in this game, but he's also homered. Little chopper hit to the right side. Easy hop there for Miguel. And that is that. So nothing comes of the 2 singles. We go to the stretch. And Pemba, Rod Allen back here at the ballpark, and well, it's been all Brew Crew tonight, and Nelson's done a really good job. What has made him so successful tonight against the Tigers?
Well, he's got that breaking ball he's been throwing tonight, that new spike curveball that he started to feature this year. He's also had a couple of really nice sliders. The fastball, he's been moving it around. He's got a really nice lead, so I think all of that has aided in his production tonight.
Meanwhile, Carlos Gomez has led them offensively. Of course, they hit the back-to-back home runs as Nelson goes back to work. He's got Nick Castellanos here. The numbers on Nelson so far. He's walked 4, but has sidestepped most of those. Nick sends a ground ball to third, deep behind the bag. Ramirez. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and it's on Jimmy Nelson. And you can see why they're so excited about the future of Jimmy Nelson. As a matter of fact, they believe he will be the #1 on their staff with a fastball that gets up to 96. Nice slide piece. Really good curveball. Doesn't throw that many changeups. Might need to come up with a changeup in the future, but he's been all good tonight.
He has retired 10 in a row as Brian Holiday stands in. Strike one to Holiday. Pop-up ground out for the Tigers catcher tonight. Another ground ball to third behind the bag. Ramirez guns and gets him. 2 gone. There is action in the Detroit bullpen. That would be Blaine Hardy. Left-hander warming up. Nelson on the other side is not needed any help at all. 11 consecutive Tigers retired.
And they needed this kind of outing out of him because the Mets over the weekend got into their bullpen pretty good.
Iglesias looks at strike one. He's trying to extend his hitting streak. It's at 9 right now. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. One ball, one strike. For as talented as the Tigers offense is, they have scored 2 or fewer runs 18 times this year, which is most in the major leagues.
Go figure.
I just can't believe that. They're actually tied with the Brewers 18 times. Spins in a breaking ball, strike 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2 offering. Chopper to third, foul. The last Tigers hit in this game was the Collins leadoff single in the second. Tigers got their 2 hits in the first 2 innings. Here's the 1-2. Sliced right to the first baseman, Lynn. 12 in a row retired by the Brewers right-hander. We go to the 8th. Leads 7-1 in the upcoming pitching matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
Shane Green comes in with 4 wins, 2 losses, a .421 earned run average. Pitched only 5 innings in his last outing in St. Louis before leaving with a little elbow discomfort. Kyle Loesch, he was outstanding in his last outing against the Mets, so he comes in with a lot of confidence.
Be on the air tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Tigers Live. You can tune us in for the final game in this series. In the meantime, Blaine Hardy now will get some work.
14th game this year for Hardy. 3.77 earned run average, 9 strikeouts, 7 walks. Hasn't given up a run the last 10 times he's been out there.
Aramis Ramirez leads it off. Ramirez, Davis, Sardinas. Low and away. Ramirez homered back in the third. That would be his 5th of this year and 369th of his career. He is 5th all time among third basemen in Major League history in homers. Ramirez announcing that he's calling it quits after this year. This is a 19th season in the big leagues. Had a lot of big years, mostly with the Chicago Cubs. Ramirez has knocked in 100 runs 7 times in his career. Here's the 1-2. Chris Davis waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. 1 away.
On Saturday, Hardy got his first win of the season. He pitched a scoreless inning, a couple of strikeouts in that inning. He did not give up a hit against the St. Louis Cardinals. Tigers won that game in extra innings. That was the 9th inning that Hardy pitched.
Strike one on Davis, who has good power. Hit his first big league homer in July of 2013, and since then, only 3 other National League outfielders have hit more home runs. Of course, Giancarlo Stanton's at the top of that list. Upton and Marlon Byrd. Davis has hit 36 homers between then and now. Here's the 1-1.
And Davis does not have a whole lot of movement when standing in the batter's box, and really has an uppercut swing for a right-handed batter. Swings straight uphill.
High fly ball. Center field. Ghosts backing up. Nestles into his glove for round number 2. Fans, you can follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Sardinas looks at a strike.
Hardy really pitched well for the Tigers down the stretch after he came up from Toledo. He was good against left-handed batters, and he started to get some really valuable outs out of that bullpen for the Tigers. Brett Osman showed a lot of trust in Blaine Hardy last season.
Driven in the air toward left center field. Cespedes on the run, still going, not going to get it. It splits the gap and goes to the wall. Sardinas takes the turn, coming to third, and he is in with a 3-bagger.
That is the 10th hit of the night for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Most of the triples here are hit to right center field. That one to left center. So a 2-out runner now for Milwaukee as they look to add to their lead. Here is Hector Gomez. Strike one on Gomez.
I've got 6 of their 10 hits going for extra base hits today.
Yeah. This is not a Brewers team that looks like the one that was hitting .227 coming in. Dead last in the National League. As Rod mentioned, 10 hits now. Swing and a miss.
It's the 11th time this year they've got 10 or more hits in a game. Their new manager, Craig Counsell, he took over just a few weeks ago after Ron Renicky was fired.
3 homers, 2 doubles, and a triple tonight. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out to end the inning. No runs. A 2-out triple is stranded. Couple of punch outs for Blaine Hardy. And when we go to the bottom of the 8th, the Tigers will have the top of the lineup coming up. It'll be Coase, Kinsler, and then Cabrera. In this series with the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Tigers are down 7-1. Top of the order coming up, and the first pitch from Nelson is outside. Anthony Gosey and Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera. 7 runs, 10 hits. Milwaukee 1 run, 2 hits for Detroit. Bouncing ball to short. Tigers hitting him right at him tonight. 1 out. That's 13 straight retired. Well, how about these numbers? I mean, make of this what you will, but the Tigers' day games have certainly been much better.
Yeah, and they struggle under the lights. Close to 3 runs a game. The batting average way down. On base percentage is way down. Not trotting around the bases.
Here is Kinsler. He drills one down the left field line. That is a foul ball. Let's get back into the seats in a souvenir. Elian Herrera has taken over at third base. Action in their bullpen. Blazek, the right-hander, warming up.
105 is the season high in pitches thrown this year for Jimmy Nelson. He's at 98 as we speak.
That breaking ball almost hit him, spun inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. A couple of walks tonight for Ian. He has also stolen and scored a run. One is a check swing inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Jimmy's been able to maintain his velocity throughout this game. 100 pitches total, still throwing 93, 94 miles an hour.
Three and one. Borderline on that one. Kinsler got the benefit of the call after being rung up in the 5th inning, which resulted in the ejection of Brad Ausmus. Ground ball to third, again right at a defender, and Herrera throws him out, 2 away. Saturday MLB on Fox Sports 1 continues as the Brewers take on the Braves at 3:30 Eastern. Then at 7 p.m. it's the return of Baseball Night in America on Fox as Cardinals and Royals renew their in-state rivalry. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. 2 outs for Miggy. Bouncing ball right side, and he's going to beat the shift as it rolls into right field. And that for Cabrera now is his 7-game hitting streak. They had retired 14 straight before that base hit.
And a lot of them on ground balls. Yeah, real good sinker today at the bottom of the zone for Jimmy Nelson. "13 ground outs, 6 flyouts, only 4 strikeouts." And for Nelson so far.
Bednar in for strike 1.
He went through the front door with that breaking ball.
Single for JD drove in their only run, and that was back in the 1st inning. 10-game streak now for Martinez. Ooh, that one hit him.
Sure did.
So the Tigers now have something going here with 2 outs. 1st and 2nd.
It's a two-seam fastball that got away from him. Got the shirt of JD Martinez.
Here's Yoenis Cespedes. So after 14 straight were retired, now 2 in a row have reached a single and a hit batter. Swing and a miss by Cespedes. Yoenis 1 of each tonight. Strikeout, flyout, ground out. The big inning in this game for Milwaukee, the 6-run third, and so far it has held up. Oh, 2.
107 now is the career high in pitches thrown in any game in the big leagues for Jimmy Nelson.
Here are the numbers by inning. The 107. The 20-pitch first remains the most.
Yeah, that was the only stress that he pitched in this evening.
Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Cespedes strikes out to end the inning. 8 in the books. Oh, Milwaukee tonight.
bright spots tonight for the Tigers offensively, but the bullpen did a nice job. Wilson came in, he pitched 1 inning and got another out in that contest. Albuquerque pitched a couple of innings. He threw some good breaking balls. He continues to take some steps forward. And then Blaine Hardy, he has now been unscored on in his last 11 appearances.
So we go to the 9th. And Jabba Chamberlain now will come out of the Tigers bullpen and pitch the 9th inning.
Outstanding earned run average this year for Jabba Chamberlain is sub-1. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Jabba pitching in his 13th game. Reestablishing his fastball this year. A lot of his fastballs anywhere from 94 to 96.
Martin Maldonado will lead it off for Milwaukee, the number 9 hitter. Then Gomez, then Parra. Maldonado hitless tonight, 2 fly balls and a ground out. Pulled and snagged at third base by Castellanos. Snub coned it.
Yeah, he did. What flavor?
I'm going with butter pecan.
They don't put butter pecan on snow cones.
Oh, that's right. That's ice cream.
A nice grab by Castellanos anyway.
All right, cherry.
Yeah, that's better. Or rainbow.
Rainbow's even better. I'm going to have to invent the butter pecan snow cone.
Yeah, you are. Let me know how it goes. I might want to invest a little money with you.
I'll let you know how it goes. Here's Gomez. Ball high, 1-0. Well, 3 hits in this game for Carlos Gomez. And he's knocked in a couple of runs. Homered, single, knocked in 2 yesterday. It's been quite a series for their leadoff man.
And to think, on Sunday he was hit in the head by a 97-mile-per-hour fastball thrown by Noah Syndergaard of the New York Mets, and he came out to play the next day.
Yeah, and homered his first at bat after that.
And he hadn't really stopped hitting yet.
Here's the 2-0s. Ooh, swing and a miss. Down to a knee he goes.
I thought that was only Adrian Beltre that went down to one knee, a la wedding proposal.
Apparently has not patented that move. Gomez used it there. 2-1. He went around. 2-2 on Carlos Gomez. It's turned into quite a player over the National League. Was a pretty decent player when we saw him with the Minnesota Twins. But he has flourished with Milwaukee. Jabba ready with the 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. One of the few times they have gotten Gomez in the series.
It's a nice slide piece there by Jabba at 86 miles an hour. Some nice depth, really good location. You can see it coming out of his hand.
Tiger bullpen, 5 innings, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks in this one tonight. They certainly gave the offense a chance to climb back in. Parra stands in with 2 outs. Strike 1. Collins, Castellanos, Holiday due up when we get to the bottom of the 9th. There's former Tiger Corey Knebel warming up in the Milwaukee pen. Bouncing ball right side, another hit. Parra gets his 2nd in the night, on base for the 4th time with a 2-out single. Hey, it's time to slide into summer. You can get mezzanine tickets for just $17 or lower baseline box tickets for just $28. See the Tigers play the Astros May 21st through the 24th. Offer available exclusively at tigers.com/tickets. Enter the coupon code FS Detroit. Here's Ryan Braun. Ball 1 high to Braun, who homered It was the big blow back in the third, 3-run shot the other way, the first of 3 consecutive home runs for Milwaukee. And that 6-run third inning. One ball, one strike.
Java gets lots of swings and misses on his breaking ball when he reestablishes his fastball early in counts. All of a sudden you get hitters like Braun and Gomez looking for that fastball, and he drops that slider on the outside corner that they swing right through. But it's only set up by establishing the fastball.
Two and one. Tip of the cap tonight to Nelson, who was really good, scattering just 3 Tigers hits.
For sure.
Chop foul. 2-2 on Braun.
And Java, if he wanted to here, he could come back with a well-located fastball, but he has to locate it at about 93 to 95, and he probably could get Ryan Braun to swing through it. In the back of Braun's mind, he might be thinking about another off-speed pitch. We'll see what they decide to do. Brian Holiday thinking just like I am. We'll see if it works.
Just got a piece of it and very nearly hit Lynn to the on-deck circle.
That's what good hitters do. I mean, a pitcher makes a pitch like that at 95 miles an hour on the black outside, and they're able to get a piece of it. Java can't make a better pitch than he just made.
Just off the plate. Full count now, 3-2, which will start the runner Parra at first base. Miggy will play behind him defensively. There's Lind waiting on deck.
Anthony Ghost is playing awfully shallow in center field with a guy in the batter's box like Braun with all that power.
Three-two. Drill to center field. This one is hit over the head of Ghost. He's going to get back there but not get it. Up against the wall. That will get a run in. It's a double and an RBI, and boy, you called that one. A 2-out run for Milwaukee. Braun hammered it to center field, his 4th RBI of the day.
After back-to-back fastballs at 95 to Ryan Braun, he came back with a breaking ball, and it appeared that Braun was sitting on it. It was right over the heart of the plate, and we had just told you that Ghost was playing awfully shallow in center field, and lo and behold, he hit it right over his head.
Not even the speed of Ghost would catch up with that one. All 8 of the runs scored today have come with 2 outs. Java showing some frustration.
What'd you just say?
All 8 runs with 2 outs.
For real?
Ground ball back up the middle. This might get another run, and Braun is going to come home. Ghost's throw to the plate. Tag! Got him! Anthony Ghost with a one-hopper to Brian Holiday, who applies the tag. 8-2 on the putout. Ghost gets the assist. Brewers get another run. Tigers down to their last swings in the bottom of the 9th. To you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank could be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here in the Motor City, downtown Detroit. And the Tigers trailing 8-1 with Greektown in the backdrop. A bit of a chilly evening tonight. Temperature was in the low 50s at game time, but the Brewers bats certainly have not been cold tonight. Corey Knebel, the former Tiger, will check in.
The numbers weren't all that great in Colorado Springs before getting called up. Corey was pitching at a .470 earned run average, but he did have 22 strikeouts against 7 walks.
Tyler Collins leads it off in Castellanos and Holiday.
Knebel's been traded twice in the last year. Once to Texas and then to Milwaukee.
A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Knebel down with the 1-1 pitch.
Traded from the Tigers to the Rangers for Joakim Soria, and then they flipped him to the Milwaukee, and they gave up Gallardo. Excuse me.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He went to Texas.
Corey was a competitive balance round A draft choice, very high draft choice for the Tigers.
He's got a big arm, fastball, get up to 95.
Ooh, and a wave and a miss. He was at 95 right there.
Yep.
1 out. We check in now with Justin White, a preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Yeah, Mario, coming up right after the game, Tigers Live post-game. Mickey York and Craig Monroe will break this one down from inside the Coliseum studios. Plus, I'll chat with Tigers players, and as always, you'll hear from Tigers manager Brad Ausmus. Tigers Live right after the game, guys. Back to you for now.
All right, Justin, thank you. As we play here in the bottom of the 9th, 1 down, nobody on. Here's Castellanos. High pop-up, shallow right field, and Parra coming in. 2 gone. So the Tigers down to their final swings here as Brian Holiday stands in. Holiday's 0 for 3. Tigers 1 out away from finishing with just 3 hits in this game. Ball 1.
Milwaukee came in playing some inconsistent baseball. They weren't hitting a whole lot. They weren't pitching very well, and they weren't playing very good defense, but you can't tell by the first couple of games of this series. At this level on any given day, regardless of what the record says, any team could beat you.
Lynn has a homer tonight. Braun has a homer. Aramis Ramirez with a homer. They hit him back to back to back. Fly ball, shallow left field. It's going to be caught, and the Brewers will win the first 2 games in this series.
And they're going to win the series, and it'll only be the 3rd series the Brewers have